The Sea is Within Us. Premiere of the novel by Lesha Baldassari, Yaxil Tun. In the coming year, the artist Lesha Baldassari is experiencing a real creative takeoff. She is preparing for a personal exhibition of paintings in Belgium, timed to coincide with the premiere of the fantasy novel about sea and space, Yaxil Tun, which will be released in 2 languages at once, Russian and English. Maybe also in Dutch, in a later phase. The book was really born out of paintings. From my love for the sea, for its infinity, Lesha Baldassari confesses. 2020, panic and powerlessness in the face of the impending threat of COVID-19, the world is closed and it was only possible to travel in a dream. Perhaps that is why the whole novel by Lesha Baldassari is saturated with the incredible freedom of the soul, characteristic of people in a dream, in flight, in weightlessness during diving into the depths of the sea, as a kind of eternal return to the sources of being in the search for meaning. Quarantine has been introduced in Europe, and I have lots of free time. By that time, I already felt like a shoemaker without boots in my work. I painted almost from early childhood, but it has been difficult to find my own style, to find myself as an artist. I've been painting portraits of clients very successfully, painted the walls of children's rooms, decorated living rooms, and illustrated books. But commercial projects are not able to give me true inspiration, fill my life with meaning. Dissatisfaction was compounded by the impossibility to travel. If I do not see the sea, then I feel like a fish without water. But I kept on dreaming. And the ideas for the paintings seemed to have been accumulating inside of me for a long time, and at the right moment bursted out like a second breath. Lesha Baldassari was born in the resort town of Tiberta on the northern slopes of the Greater Caucasus, spent her childhood and youth in Minsk, where she graduated from the College of Arts of Kimchik as an artist designer, and then the Belarusian Academy of Arts as an art critic. The first stories were published in literary magazines in Belarus. A little later, in 2008, a triptych painting Blue Symphony was painted, which depicts a woman with blue skin and a wild cat with blue fur, and stories about creatures from distant planets subject to the call of the seas. From early childhood, I fantasized about creatures with blue skin. At the age of 10, me, in collaboration with a friend, wrote a fantastic story, The Amulet of the Power of All Universes, and it was all the more surprising to have made the characters of the triptych Blue Symphony heroes of the novel Yaxil Tun. In this pandemic and the forced separation from the sea made me to want to depict in all its beauty the underwater world of the sea, unattainable in reality, taking me to unknown distances. Fantasy images of paintings have arisen by themselves. After the first work, the second and third appeared, and my husband and I continued to come up with entertaining stories with the heroes of the underwater world for new works of art. And the plots of the paintings flowed smoothly from one work to another. This is how the narrative, the canvas of the future novel, was born. The novel Yaxil Tun is a mystical journey in search of universal human purpose, an odyssey in an attempt to find one's place in the universe and to know oneself. The main character, the marine biologist Elisa, the author's alter ego, goes on an expedition trip to Cuba. A journey across the Caribbean becomes a breakthrough for her into a different reality. She, her beloved Alessandro and the head of the expedition Franco transform into other creatures, find a sacred ancient Mayan artifact on a sunken ship, and end up on the mysterious planet Yax. Traveling in time and space, dreams and revelations, the historical past intertwined with a recognizable present and unknown future, help the heroes find the answer to the sacred question, what is love? Lesha Baldassari's book is multifaceted and deep, and was not born overnight from a mystical revelation or a prophetic dream. It took a long career of the artist. Materials for the book have been collected for many years. Since childhood, I love to swim and have vivid dreams. Water has always been my element, but only after learning to scuba dive, snorkeling, and free diving, I really discovered a completely different underwater world in comparison to Earth. After each trip to the ocean, I wrote down my emotions, thoughts, observations of nature and people in a notebook, which later formed the basis of the novel Yaxil Tun. The fantasy genre also did not appear by coincidence. I was fond of the prose of Abraham Merritt and Alexander Believe. I have always adored surrealism, Salvador Dali, René Magritte. Not so unambiguously, but my work was very influenced by the art of the Austrian artist Gustave Klimt. French Impressionism was expressed not in images, but in the very style of my novel. I wanted both temporary, semantic, and stylistic interweaving in the plot, something large-scale and innovative. And my long-standing passion for astronomy has linked the ocean and space together. This is what life looks like if you observe it closely. Non-linear and ambiguous, life is like a puzzle that is being formed by an unknown hand from above, before our eyes, a mosaic of unsolved meanings. The novel is dedicated to those who are not indifferent to our environment, environmental problems and natural disasters, and also for those who are in love with the extraordinary beauty of the marvelous sea. Right, critics. The events of the pandemic showed humanity its vulnerability to the unknown. Our dreams, which can suddenly become unrealizable, made us understand that our happy future depends only on us. And in this sense, the novel Yaxil Tun can be attributed not even to futurology, but to the prophecy. Happiness is our vocation, our true state. What is true happiness if not love? The most important thing is that the novel Yaxil Tun is dedicated to my untimely deceased father. Dad was an artist from God. He did not study in arts, but he loved to draw, and did it fantastically. How does one not want the continuity of art in life? Love for the world is an opportunity to pass on your experience to future generations, to leave something behind with the hope that they will love it in return and never forget.